I am traumatized.
Welcome.
Defecation, no breathing. I'll grow some hair.
This was me. Tell the people about SS Black Poop.
Okay.
Oh, God.
If you insist.
So it's not that cute looking.
I think it is. I think it's cute, the little poopies.
Because he gave a speech about you guys being a bad example, and I want to show him what he really is.
Oh no.
Ooh.
I don't like where this is going.
Viewer discretion is advised.
All right. You are listening to Wine and Crime, the podcast where three friends chug wine, chat true crime, and unleash their worst Minnesotan accents.
Oh yeah.
Good Lucy burp right there. Good merp.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm Kenyon, and yes, I have seen the Taylor Swift imitating a Minnesota soccer mom video.
Oh,
Thank you.
I haven't.
It's probably not good.
But that's not an invitation for
It's
3,000
actually-
people to send it to me.
We've-
I'll
we-
go look it up on my own.
We've seen it. She actually does a pretty good job for somebody without a Minnesota connection.
Okay.
But it's also like 20 years old.
Oh,
Like,
then
we-
I've seen that.
Yeah.
So we're good.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. We've seen it. Thank you.
Have
You're
more people
so
that
mad.
making another round?
Oh, yeah.
Guess so. Lucky us.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, it can't be as bad as the ideal road trip.
The map.
The map.
The fucking decomp cake needlepoint of the hand.
I'm Lucy. I've seen all this too.
I've seen it all.
I'm Amanda.
She's doing great, folks. We're all doing great.
I'm just...
It's one of those struggle weeks.
It's been a struggle
Again.
like
It's
months.
Monday.
Ew, it's Monday?
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
God, it is.
Oh.
He rents.
I literally was like, there's no way.
It's Monday, babe.
It's Monday.
I'm checking.
It's Monday.
It's actually
Oh my God.
It's 3 days after Friday is really more what it feels like. It feels like a
No.
horrible extension of last week.
Today
No.
was supposed to be the second week of daycare for Sonia. She's already had COVID, which she gave to me. And then then she was okay for a couple days. Then a regular cold, not a cool cold, which she also gave to me. And then she was okay for a couple days. And now she has an ear infection.
Daycare, baby.
Monday of week 2.
I love it. She's getting it all out in the beginning. She will be an iron fist of an immune system. I feel it. It's coming for her.
Great.
I'm just chronically ill, and it's going to take me, I guess, 8 years to recover from my wedding that I didn't even get drunk at.
Yeah.
I'm just, like, so tired.
I recently got that temp tat off of my body from your wedding a week and a half ago.
I love that it lasted that long. And now I'm thinking
was
of
it?
all of my cousins that did them on their necks and faces.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Corey was trying to get his back of his calf off this morning. He had to have a exfoliating scrub and a washcloth. And I just heard him from the other room go, "She got such high quality temp tats. I
did.
can't get it."
I did. I got really good ones.
Yeah.
Like ones that people get to see if they want to get a tattoo. That lasts for
Not like fun
weeks.
party favor.
No.
Not like child tattoos from a piñata.
And your
No, honey.
cousin's girlfriend put it on her face.
So many of my cousins, first of all, fiance. Second of all, so many of my cousins put them on their faces and
Your
necks.
cousins?
Oh, they party,
Party.
baby. They
Yeah.
party. They party so hard.
Yeah.
I love them so much.
Who was
We
the
love a wedding.
queen in the yellow on
dress
the dance
girl?
floor?
That was face tat.
That's Priya. That's my cousin Andrew's fiance, and they are getting married in
Andrew with the
Mexico.
good personality.
Yep.
I'm
But he
so
did
happy.
P90X, so he's like hot now. He did P90X like 10 years ago, and now he has a physique.
hate that, but love her.
Yeah, but they're
the one
getting
with the
married.
good personality.
Go with a good personality. Yep. They my grandmother infamously described my cousin Andrew and my cousin Kurt as the handsome one, Kurt, and the one with a great personality, Andrew. For the record, they're both handsome, but nobody is ever going to be as handsome as Kurt. We all get it. We've been
Kurt's
hearing it for fucking years. He
beautiful
looks like
man.
he could be on The Bachelor.
Very sweet.
Oh, and he's just sweet as frickin' pie.
Yeah.
I couldn't
Just
tell
a little
any of them
sweet
apart.
boy. Well,
He's
that's
tall.
very kind of you. He's extremely tall.
Yeah. It looks
Anyway,
tall-
Andrew and Priya are getting married in Mexico in April, and I
Can't
cannot.
wait for the invite.
she's a maniac.
Wait.
I bet she invites my mom because my mom was
invites
chasing her
already
the
went
whole
out,
wedding.
so you're
Okay, so she needs my updated address. Great.
Yeah, okay, I'll let her know.
It's okay. We have another wedding in April to go to.
Great, I love
On
it.
420.
Oh, fun! Who's?
John, cut this or bleep this, but our friend's ex friend from China, you know,
Cute.
Lucy. No. And
All right.
her
I know the
fiance.
name.
And they're getting married on 420, oddly, in the British Virgin Islands.
I love that for them. How cool!
Purposely on 420.
No, it was the date that worked.
Oh, that's a lot better.
She's not like me planning my bachelorette in Vegas where I had to be there on 420 and
No.
had to see Chris Angel. Now,
Okay, that's our updates. That's our scheduling for weddings. And we have a very special gals pick continuing Hog Girl Summer.
Hug Girl Summer.
This was a me pick. Yuck.
I really just got the urge to just flash
Yeah.
all my
Do
rows
it.
of teats.
Flash the teats.
I'm very much wearing a bralette that would show every inch of nipple, so I'm
A
gonna
lace
save that.
bralette.
I'm gonna save that for just my husband.
I recently saw a map of the concentration of hogs in the United States, and they're almost all in Iowa.
No, Iowa and Texas.
I'm sending it to you. Hardly
Yeah.
any.
Feral
Iowa
down south
blows it out of the
and
water.
domesticated up north.
Oh no.
All right. Okay. Well, this is the strong Lucy pick, although it has a whiff of Amanda
It
to
really does. A strong whiff.
We'll get to the whiff.
A stench, if you will.
Yeah. And we, not me, have selected the topic of Feces Fiascos.
Honestly,
Hog girl, baby.
I love it.
Okay.
And I was doing research earlier and I kept finding these amazing articles about fecal DNA and was just
She sent them to me.
texting Lucy going, are you using this? Are you using it? Because you
gotta
should
go
use
with it.
this. Yeah, you
I
gotta
did.
use this.
Oh, honey, I did.
It's got some,
I'm
there's some.
very excited for Lucy's segment and for Amanda's segment, and my case is so sad.
Yeah. Your case is in fact, and I didn't look it up. You just warned us.
It's maybe the saddest case. It's bad. It's up
You
there.
warned us that your case was maybe the darkest you'd ever done. So
Yeah.
I actually changed mine.
Good.
What if this is
Which
the most
wasn't
downer
even that.
episode we've ever done?
The one I had wasn't even that dark, and I'm going to talk about it at the top of my segment, like very briefly. But I was just like, I can't do this.
Good. That was smart. Gotta balance it out.
Not to say I don't have some sad shit, LOL, in my segment, but it's a smattering. It's a spatter, if you will.
A
It's
spray.
an absolute
Wipe
paint
down
job.
the bowl.
It's a shart.
Okay.
It's a chart of treats.
All right. Well, let's get to the wine crime pairing.
Yes, let's.
Gotta wipe down the bowl.
Gotta wipe the bowl. The back of the bowl spray is something I will never understand, and I have IBS. Like, how are you sitting?
If there's enough gas behind it,
I suppose.
and if it's
you
wet
don't
enough.
understand.
I mean, I don't.
Walk
are you
a
like?
mile in my shoes.
Are you like leaning forward on the top? I'm not trying to shame. I'm trying to like actually understand the
it's not
physics.
like, I don't
Probably
know.
the
it just
shape
happens.
of your butt cheeks, how spread out they are. Like
Okay.
if your hole has fewer obstructions for the spray. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think
Like-
it's a velocity issue.
If you have less butt cheek in the way of the spray.
Oh, I guess I have a lot of butt cheek that's like guiding it in a specific
Why would your
direction.
butt cheek? Oh,
Because your butt cheeks surround your asshole.
My butt cheeks definitely are large enough to
So you have-
extend the path of passage.
Yeah,
So
yours
the-
is like a
okay.
funnel.
Yeah.
okay.
So I
the
think
butt-
my
you have
cheeks are.
butt cheeks sitting inside the bowl.
Oh, I have butt cheeks in the bowl, like floating over the sides of the bowl.
Okay.
I've got butt cheeks forward, backward, up, sides. I've got the biggest fucking ass.
See, if I'm
I'm
sitting...
gonna have to upgrade my toilet seat to something like more accommodating, like soon. Also, I
Yeah.
broke my toilet seat.
Yeah, that's common.
I kind
and
of
I
like
need to get a new one.
sitting so that it kind of spreads them.
Yeah,
I like a clean shot.
right. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
I also sit up. So like I'm pointing my beehole down.
Well, I'm a
So
perpetual
even if there's
sloucher,
flap
so-
and
Yeah,
fart.
I've got
oh.
bad posture.
All right, fair enough. I mean, I had bad posture too. I just the only time I have good posture, I guess, is on the toilet. Anyway, all right.
Okay.
Ew. So the wine crime pairing today, I chose for two reasons. One, it was in my fridge and I wanted it. Two, oh my God, you guys.
Did you forget your second reason?
No.
You forgot your wine, didn't you?
No. It's so much dumber than that. I thought I had a different brand of seltzer than the one I have. And I was going to talk about how I chose Truly Seltzer because this was truly a disgusting topic. It's a fucking high noon. I can't even do this right.
You really shat the bed.
I shat. Well, that's why I'm drinking a high noon pineapple seltzer that I swear, I feel like I'm in one of those glitches in the Matrix because I swore to God when I looked at it
You
earlier
can drink
today,
a
it was
high
Truly.
noon while mooning.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
High moon.
Nailed
High
it.
moon.
I'm concerned about
High
my
noon,
brain
low
activity.
moon.
I swear to
It's fine.
You didn't touch your own face and then swat your hand away thinking it was a bug. So
We're all running on
doing
1,000,000% today. Well, okay. I wanted the real pairing to be Truly Seltzer because this is a truly disgusting topic. And I apparently hallucinated that I had that in my fridge. It's actually high noon. It's pineapple. It's delicious. That's what I'm drinking. But for the sake of your pairing, grab a Truly. And I truly do apologize. And at least I have something to crack.
you know what? Make it a White Claw.
You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. Make it a Topo Chico.
Yum. Mm-hmm.
Delicious. All right, ready to crack because I've already cracked, apparently.
Ready to crap.
Here we go. Oh, it's a squirter. Back of the bowl.
Squirter out of the crack.
Nice crap.
Nice crap.
All right. Well, moving on. Lucy, what
I should be
is
fired. Please just fire me.
our
Push
background
me out of my misery.
and psych for Feces Fiascos? What is wrong with us? And
Well-
Freud, I'm guessing, is involved.
Oh, this is so good.
I didn't involve Freud. There was a lot to talk about. So there's no psych. I don't know where my bones are. Just imagine
It'll
it.
be a
Take your own
two-parter.
bones.
We're
There you
falling apart. Okay, so like some of our other body
go. Horror.
body focused forensic
Episodes.
episodes. I have some synonyms and slang for us for poop.
Yes.
So we got
Zach finally texted me back.
what?
I wished him a happy birthday hours
Oh,
ago.
okay.
Hours ago. Sorry, I just had to announce
It's a
it
poor
because it went to my
texter.
computer.
That means he's in the bathroom, probably, right? Is he one of
Probably.
those?
You pooping?
All right, here are some synonyms: feces, shit, crap, dung, stool, droppings, turd, motion, mess, defecation, excreta,
Defecation, no breathing.
ordure, cack, like someone's mother-in-law.
No.
Night soil, loved that one. Dirt, dookie, chocolate hot dog, dumplings.
I've always hated Dookie.
It reminds me of
Yeah.
Green Day.
Yeah, but like before that.
But-
It's
Gross.
outdated.
Yeah, not a fan.
It's also like a specific kind of poop,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
A little lumpy.
Yeah,
Like a
little-
dog-
like a
dog
a
poop.
dog shit poop,
Mm.
light brown,
Mhm.
the worst kind.
Yeah.
I don't know. White dog shit's pretty bad.
Well, we'll get to the white shit, but I think white dog shit happens because it's out in the sun.
But also, there's like
Bleaches.
something in their food that can cause it.
We'll
I
get
have
to the
not
colors.
Had that experience. Okay.
Dumplings, fecal matter, flop, fudge, guano. Number 2, jobby, log, muck, scat, soil, tom tit, waste.
Tom tit?
I don't know.
Also
Ask
caca.
the internet.
Caca. My mom hates that word.
Caca.
Caca, 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 Shaka Khan.
Oh no! Don't
What?
soil her name.
Oh, I love her.
Don't night soil her. Okay.
Ugh.
Britannica says feces is usually 75% water and 25% solid matter.
Luck.
Much like us.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
About 30% of the solid matter is dead bacteria, 30% is indigestible food matter, 10 to 20% is cholesterol and other fats, 10 to 20% is inorganic substances such as calcium phosphate and iron phosphate, and 2 to 3% is protein.
Wow. What a tapestry
I don't think
of
I
items.
never thought about
Right.
that before.
Really?
I know that we like extract nutrients from what we eat and then this is the remainder, but I
Right.
don't think I thought about like what makes up
Yeah.
the remainder. Yeah.
Right. Correct.
I think about it constantly.
Why?
Really? You
a
think like I wonder
mystery.
what percentage of this
It's clearly
is fat?
not a
Just like,
mystery.
what is
because
that?
You just laid it out for us.
And then sometimes there's corn,
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. If you ate
Tomato
corn,
skins.
that is
Yeah.
not a mystery.
spinach,
Okay.
leafy green.
I remember I took the most exquisite shit once. It was like really long and it was like perfect. But you could tell exactly when in the last 48 hours I had started taking matcha powder because I had like an exact green, like the first half was brown and then the back half was green, like wine and crime teal, baby. It was amazing. I almost took a picture of it.
I once pooped a perfect question mark.
Yes.
You did. Yep.
Tell the people about SS Black Poop.
Okay.
Oh, God.
If you insist. When we were in high school, we went on, and we is like me, Lucy, Scott, our moms. I don't know if Scott was there at the time. Amanda, you met up with us later. You weren't at this part of it.
Okay.
It was the beginning of our senior year of high school, and we went to the East Coast ostensibly for like a college
Yep.
tour
Yep.
of colleges.
It
But
It
School
was
in Iowa.
just a fun
it was
trip.
just a fun trip for
Yep.
most of us.
And frankly, our moms really wanted to go to New York together.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't the teenagers who had to justify it.
No, it was basically just a fun trip.
Yep.
We also had to take our ACTs in like the Bronx while we were there.
took our ACTs in Brooklyn, which was very strange. And
I didn't, but you guys
no
did.
one told me that there was a science portion, so that was a rude surprise.
Who did your prep?
No one. What
oh,
prep?
Lord. Oh,
I
dear.
didn't prep.
Yeah. Okay.
So I went to school in Iowa.
I literally turned the page. I was like, oh no.
Oh, God.
No. Okay, so we were in Connecticut at this point of the trip, and my mom hates staying in hotels, and this was pre-Airbnb, but she basically found like an Airbnb, and it was on a houseboat somewhere in
You
Connecticut.
could rent a houseboat that was just sitting in a harbor.
And you couldn't drive the boat.
No,
but
it
you
never
could
left.
Sleep in the houseboat at the dock and
Your
rent
mother
it.
is next level.
She's insane.
Some of my friends
She's nuts.
booked a houseboat Airbnb for the wedding, but like it was normal.
Yeah.
It's an
This wasn't
Airbnb.
normal.
It wasn't Connecticut.
This
in the
wasn't
fall.
like I found it on Craigslist.
Yeah.
Because Airbnb didn't exist.
Airbnb did not exist. God knows where she found it.
So
So
quite
need
nice.
to know.
it was great, but the downside was that there was one small boat toilet.
Oh dear.
Commode.
It was a
deck?
WC. It was a water closet.
WC. Thank you.
Did it flush?
Yes.
Manually.
Into like some tank, I'm sure, not like into the harbor. But
It's like an RV. Imagine an RV.
Yeah, but on
Okay,
the
but
water.
on water. Got it. Okay.
We went to Mystic Pizza,
Luck.
which was so great. And I remember I had the barbecue chicken pizza.
Oh no.
And then, however
Oh,
many
no.
hours later.
The pizza wasn't even that good.
No.
It was just a fun environment.
It's for the experience.
Yeah. I availed myself of the WC on this boat where both of our families were staying.
It was just us and our moms.
Yeah. And I took probably the biggest shit of my life.
Oh,
Still
no.
to this day. And
Still?
And
She was describing it. I was in the bedroom, which was right outside the bathroom.
No. Your
She was
friendship.
like,
I
oh,
made,
no.
I made my mom and Melinda go up on deck.
She made them
I
leave.
need privacy.
Yeah. And it was black.
Ooh.
Jet black
Ooh.
and huge.
Ooh. No.
And this little boat toilet could not cope.
Oh no.
She ain't seen nothing
Gobble
like
her
it.
up. Gobble her up.
I don't even I've trauma blocked out what happened after, like how we managed
I
it.
didn't want to know.
Oh my god.
She's trying to flush it. So no. Okay. So she's like, oh my God, this poop is black. And I'm like, oh my God, part of me wants to see it, but part of me knows
You'll regret it.
You can't.
I can't go
unsee
in
it.
there. But also I can't go in there. I'll gag. And so I took her word for it, and she shut the lid, flushed, opened the lid. She wasn't
Scream.
going anywhere.
It didn't move.
Shut the
It
lid
just like
again.
spun around a little bit.
No, it didn't move at all.
It didn't move.
So then she shut the lid again, flush, like a few times, opened it again. It had gone from like this to this.
No.
It turned like 5 degrees.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, I think you used something to like break it up
Oh,
to get
God.
it down.
Yeah. Needs must.
So we called
The
that
rules
boat.
of the sea.
They
The
were-
rule. What? Oh my god! I can't believe
these are maritime laws, technically. So we called the boat the SS Black Poop.
Wow! You almost sunk my battleship.
And then we
Literally.
watched Alcatraz. No, what's a Bruce Willis?
Die Hard.
Die
Die
Hard.
Hard. No, that's the Christmas one. We watched something on VHS with your mom.
Oh my god.
That was
okay.
that night.
I have never had barbecue chicken pizza again.
I think that's wise, frankly. But now I kind of want you to get barbecue chicken pizza just so we can.
see.
Should we do a show in Mystic, Connecticut, just so
should.
we can try and do
Absolutely,
this
it's
all over
beautiful.
again? I'm here for it.
All right. Well, I am 2 sentences into my segment. Okay.
And I am traumatized.
Welcome. You'll never get over it.
I do. Now that you've mentioned, I do remember the.
Just the tiny shift
After flushing like 3 or 4 times. Just like,
and not.
And our moms are like, can we come back inside now?
There was no pressure.
Oh my God.
You were sweating.
Yeah.
So, if you ever wondered why poop stinks, because I'm going to tell you,
Great.
it's because of organic compounds called scatol might be scat, and
Dolly.
thiols, which contain sulfur. That's why it stinks. That's also why certain insects are drawn to stinky poop.
Oh.
Okay.
So, regarding the mechanics of pooping, bowel control is a complex process involving the coordination of many different muscles and nerves. Your bowel is the part of the gastrointestinal system designed to help absorb nutrients and fluids from food and drink. The main job of the bowel is to expel leftover waste. So the bowel starts in the small intestine, delivering the waste to the colon, which is a 5 to 6 foot long muscular tube that delivers the stool to the rectum.
She thick.
She long. I have a image on the drive, which will be on the blog.
Runs to the drive. Let me peep that colon.
As the stool moves through the colon, fluids are removed and absorbed into the body.
I can't believe you didn't upload the mega colon, the windbag from the Moocher Museum.
Oh, yeah, I didn't.
Oh, it was amazing. Everyone Google it.
There's so much to cover. We could have a poop crimes part 2, honestly.
I mean, we could have a whole podcast.
As we all know, stool consistency can vary greatly
Sure can, even in one sitting.
from hard lumps like little rabbit turds to very, very loose, watery stool.
I like to call that combination the champagne cork.
Oh,
You pop the champagne, all the
it's
liquid
like one
comes
dense
out.
part, boop, and then the rest comes. Yep,
Bye-bye.
if there's some gas behind it.
Oh, yeah, a little motorboat son of a bitch.
I like when you just get the afterburn for a little bit. Not too intense, but just enough
Just
to
a
know
reminder of what you've been through.
you got a real good dump. That's nice.
You have to let it linger.
So the best and easiest consistency for poop is soft, like toothpaste kind of consistency.
Oh, I want it a little harder than that. I'm sorry. I don't want to feel like I'm wiping peanut butter off of my backside.
Oh my God. I
You
don't
don't
know,
want-
I don't know how long it's
Toothpaste.
gonna last.
You don't want the brown crayon syndrome, which I know I've described before.
Oh, yeah.
That's bad.
You wipe and you wipe and you wipe.
You might have to just page me when it's my
Nope.
turn to come
No.
You're
back.
in this now, SS Black Poo.
Yeah, you started it.
Yeah, this is your fault.
But many factors, such as how long the stool has been in the colon, the amount of water absorbed from the waste, and the amount of fiber and fluids in your diet, can impact how the poop looks when it comes out. So if you're wondering
And the
why,
amount of IBS you have
how long your moms have to be outside waiting for you,
on the
How
deck.
much barbecue chicken pizza you consumed at Mystic Pizza.
So much.
So the reason why everyone says to eat more fiber if you're constipated is because fiber is indigestible by the body. So it adds weight and volume to the poop, making it easier to expel from your body.
Oh.
Isn't that weird?
So fiber is not
seems
actually like
counterproductive.
good for you. It's just
It's a broom. It's a colon broom.
just for the poop.
Just for the poop,
Interesting.
in itself is good for you.
Right. It just doesn't have like
Right.
nutritional content that's
but if you're
beneficial.
not constipated, there's no reason.
None.
Oh.
I mean, if you're eating like just whatever straight up fiber would look like Metamucil, there's no nutritional value for that. It just helps you shit.
Got it.
But eating a bunch of fiber can also be bad if the constipation problem is not actually related to your fiber intake. It may actually worsen your constipation. Can I tell a quick anecdote?
Of course.
As if I need your
Always.
permission.
Yeah.
So I was in college, hadn't pooped in a few days, was getting real uncomfortable, assumed I was constipated, took some laxative, and in the middle
God.
of the night had
Yep.
the most painful
Yeah.
non-shit experience ever. I was on the toilet for hours. It was extraordinarily painful. So the next day I went to the student health center. That's when I had the camera stuck up my butt.
Mm-hmm.
That's not why. They did that to figure out why.
For funsies.
Well, that was what. Yeah, they stuck it up
This
my butt to figure out what was
situation
going
why
on.
she had a
The way
camera
you
put
said
in her
it sounded like maybe it was because you had a camera stuck up.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
They found a camera in my ass.
I forgot about that camera I stuck up my ass.
Unbelievable.
I mean, you wouldn't have been the first.
College
No.
was wild.
You tripped and fell on a camera. Happens all the time.
Yeah. Pixie Dig. Anyway, they stuck a camera up my butt, and it turns out that I wasn't constipated. I was having stress-related bowel spasms, so my rectum was like a fucking tight fist. So nothing could pass through. So I had to take like relaxants to get my butt loose again so that I could poop.
You little anxious thing.
Yeah, you had some anxiety that first year.
That was my senior year.
Well,
It's incredible how long my anxiety went undiagnosed. But anyway, taking laxatives, you gotta be really sure that that's your real issue.
yeah, I feel like laxatives in general just do more harm than good.
They sure can.
Start with a gentle softener. Don't go straight to the lax.
Softener.
Oh, God.
And if you're going to give birth in any way that giving birth happens,
You're gonna shit.
stool softener.
Yeah, for that recovery time.
A lot of it.
After,
Yup.
Yep.
because I've had some issues already.
And pack it yourself because the hospital is very stingy about doling it out, and you don't want to have to like call a nurse
Steal.
at 3 a.m.
Be like,
to
next one
give
in here
you-
without a pack of
Toys.
toys in their hands dies.
Just pack it yourself and
Hear me, Loretta?
administer it yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also read that you should pack your own Vaseline to just lube up your baby's ass because their first couple shits are
Yes.
really tarry and you
Yeah.
want it all greasy. Just scoop it right up.
Absolutely. Yep.
Gross.
Do that.
There's
Okay.
a lot on the internet. Okay.
What's
it's
that
a
called?
nightmare.
Merconium or whatever it's called.
Meconium?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Waconia, Minnesota. Named for the oily black poo that comes from like
Sorry
babies
for
devouring
shit.
their own hair and other shit in utero.
I will say if you
What?
catch the meconium shit very quickly, then it doesn't stick.
Ugh.
It's just if it's sitting there
Gets
for
a little
any
dry.
amount of time.
I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it in a jar and send it to you.
no. Okay.
I don't think
next.
anyone needs you to do that.
No,
Bye. No, no, no.
No,
No,
no.
no.
No, no.
Oh, no. Okay.
No, no.
Okay, so that's fiber. Then we have the issue of fluids. So coffee and pop do not contribute to your fluid intake. No, no, no.
No,
No,
no.
no.
No,
Coffee
no.
can make you shit, though. I'll tell you what.
Caffeine is a diuretic, which means that it pulls fluid from your body and excretes it as urine. This dehydrates you and then forces the colon to get extra water from your stool, making it harder to shit
Hard.
in the long run.
Yeah. Little rabbit poops.
You should drink 2 cups of non-caffeinated beverage for every 1 cup of caffeinated beverage. Non-caffeinated fluids help determine how soft your poop is and how easy it is to poop. You don't want to strain. Never strain.
This counts. It's caffeinated.
I think alcohol is its own
Category.
problem.
I have a bubble water as well.
Okay, good.
Also other issues. Okay.
No.
Also,
it
don't
hydrates just the same.
count on your food for your fluid intake. So like celery, it's not extra water. I mean, it's bonus water, but it's like you have to also drink water.
Right.
Right.
So, how can you tell if your poop is healthy? I have a diagram if you want to follow along.
I really want to follow along.
There are 7 types of poop. Tag
These poops
yourself.
are so pale. I know they don't want to make it like super brown, clearly poopy, but these are very pale and
Yeah.
gross
If
looking.
I had to poop this color, I would not be happy.
Let me see what the color is. Oh, yeah. They're kind of gray. They look like potatoes.
It's alarming.
Yeah.
I get why they're doing it. I really do.
Well,
but
it's so we can see the texture
worse.
better in this illustration. They're illustrations.
I think they're trying to make it seem less gross to look at.
I think they're so you can
But
see the
it's-
texture details better.
Okay.
Tag yourself. Type
Agreed,
1.
it is great.
Separate hard lumps, little rabbit turds. Type 2, sausage shaped but lumpy. Type 3, sausage shaped with cracks on the surface. Type 4, smooth and soft, like a snake.
Gross,
Shaped like a
hate it.
snake. Really? I think that's the ideal poop.
It is.
Type 5, soft blobs with clear-cut edges. Type 6, fluffy and mushy with ragged edges. Hangover. Type 7, watery. Just falls out of your ass.
I'm like a type 6 with a type 1 moon and a type 4 rising.
Yeah. Same, but type 3 rising. Like every once in a while, I'll be gifted a 3,
Really?
but it's rare.
Yeah, my gift is a 4.
You're mostly type 6, both of you?
I'm like mostly a 5-6.
That's...
I have fucking IBS and diabetes and all kinds of shit. My stools being solid are a gift.
Rare.
baby. And I poop every day, often twice.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, the ideal poops are type 3 and 4. So
I had a good poop
sausage
today.
shaped with cracks on the surface or soft and smooth snake-like.
I had a little snake today. It was good.
Good. I'm glad. I'm proud of you.
Wow.
As for the poop color, it should be brown for the most part.
Not green for the matcha part.
Not jet black.
Not jet.
Half green, half brown.
Not
Well-
mystically jet black.
We'll get to the black. Poop is primarily brown because of a chemical called stercobilin. It can end up in the poop as a byproduct of the hemoglobin in broken down red blood cells.
Interesting.
It also comes from the bile. So without that stercobilin, poop would be a pale gray or whitish color.
That would be
dogs.
worse. Very,
that would be
very
worse.
happy that it's not.
Are you going to explain where the black poop comes from?
Yes.
Because, like, isn't it bile and or blood that can make your poop black? I just want to know if that is like a wives' tale or...
Well, the
if that's-
the bile and the let me just get. I'm getting to
Okay.
it. If your poop is not brown, the color of your crap can indicate a problem. For green and red Christmas poops, it might be due to the color of the food you've recently eaten, like matcha.
Matcha, baby.
If you have not eaten something green, or if you're on antibiotics, it might be green because your poop is moving too fast through you.
And for red, the amount of times I have had to set alarms in my phone reminding me that I ate beets.
Beets.
The fear. The fear. I almost had to take my friend to the hospital. She texted me and she was like, I might need to go to the hospital. And I was like, what's up? She's like, I'm shitting blood. And I was like, did you eat beets? And she was like, oh, wait. Yes, I did. It's a scary time, honey.
Oh,
Switch
well.
to golden beets.
Yet another reason why I am not a fan of beets.
I love beets. Love them.
I can't get on the beet train.
Oh, you're missing out. Toot, toot.
Also, whenever I make spaghetti, I make like a fuck ton of spaghetti.
You really do. You make a lot.
So I eat it for like a week, and my poop's always like kind of orange because of all
the
the
tomato.
tomato.
Ew, that reminds me of like when you stain a plastic bowl or like a
Totally, it's
Tupperware.
that color.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Because
Your toilet
combined
bowl
with the
just
beef,
looks
the
like-
grease from the beef.
Eh.
Yeah.
Okay. I
If you haven't eaten something red, then call a doctor because it might be blood.
Yep.
Or it might be beets. Make sure it's not beets. Yellow poop is not normal for adults, but it is normal for babies who have been breastfeeding. White poop can indicate a blockage in your bile ducts or congestion in your liver or gallbladder because, again, we get the yellowish We get the yellow from the bile coming from your gallbladder. Lastly, Amanda, if your poop is black and you haven't eaten dark foods or taken bismuth medication like Pepto-Bismol.
Got it. Okay.
Or iron supplements. Or eaten at Mystic Pizza. Then it
Did you
could be
take
something
Pepto?
else.
Were you like not feeling well after the pizza? Maybe?
Don't remember.
No, you don't
Maybe.
remember?
We have to blame Mystic Pizza. It's way funnier that way.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I feel like if I had taken Pepto-Bismol and then we were talking about it so much, my mom
It
would
would've
have
clicked.
said,
Your mom
Yeah.
would have said something.
yeah. So I'm guessing not.
All right. Okay.
I really wanted to touch on worms, so that's what I'm going to do right now.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Didn't your sister have a tapeworm once?
No, I wish.
Okay. Sorry. I invented that in my head.
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
According to the CD, we can totally spread that rumor, though, if you want to.
Stop. No.
Sorry,
I'm
Madeline.
shutting that
Maybe
down.
I had a bad dream, but I really thought that you had a tapeworm once, and Lucy
Not
was really
start that.
excited
I'm
about it.
defending Madeline. No. She did not have a tapeworm.
Tell everyone. Okay.
No.
According to the CDC, hookworms and whipworms are known as soil-transmitted helminths, which are parasitic worms.
Hellmouths.
Helmets. Hellmouths, yeah, because look at their mouths. There's photos.
Yeah, they latch.
They're disgusting and amazing.
They have little creepy teeth.
It's just a worm with a hole
Ew,
in the
look at
end
its
with
eyes.
teeth.
It's got 2 little eyes.
Oh, God, ew. I love
Hello, I'm in your ass.
it. Not yet.
Hello.
Hookworm eggs are passed in the poop of an infected person or animal. So if someone poops outside or their feces is used as fertilizer, the eggs can be deposited on the soil and hatch, thus releasing larvae. The larvae then mature into a form that can penetrate human skin. So this mostly happens when someone walks barefoot on contaminated soil. So there's also a photo
I walk
of
barefoot a lot.
a bare foot with a worm
No!
burrowing into
Yeah.
it. See that?
No.
That is foul.
No.
That's a hookworm.
No.
So then it goes up in your body and gets in your digestive system.
What? From your foot?
Yeah.
Yeah, babe.
It's a big
fuck?
problem in a lot of developing countries.
Yeah. Because they often walk around barefoot in fields with, like,
They don't have
cows and animals
sanitation and
human poop. Yeah. Another type of hookworm can be transmitted via the ingestion of larvae. Most people don't have symptoms when they're infected with the hookworms. They just spread it around. Excuse me.
Wait.
Oh my God.
They don't have symptoms when they're infected. When it's in their poop, they don't have symptoms.
That's what I read. Let's see.
Okay, so when do they have symptoms?
Hookworm symptoms.
When it's in their tummy, but not their poop
Itching
yet.
and maybe it meant like when they are recently infected
Okay,
as a verb.
Got it.
Okay.
A person with a heavy
You won't know
infection
for a while.
may experience abdominal pain, diarrhea, loss of appetite, weight loss, fatigue, and anemia. Which makes sense.
Anema or anemia?
Anemia.
Oh, okay.
Who's anema?
I don't know. You said it, not me,
I know.
baby.
A
I
person
was
with
like, is that new?
a person with a light infection may have no symptoms.
Okay.
Maybe
Okay.
I left out a word.
It's like one worm,
Okay.
but not a bunch of worms.
Yeah.
Got it.
So you gotta have
Oh
a real
my
bad
God.
case of worms to get
Oh.
really sick with it.
I'm going to call into work with worms. Mark my words. If I call
This
into
is
work, mean, text you, I have worms I can't record today.
Yeah, this
Do
is
not ask
work.
any follow-up questions.
Historically, people have used poop as a biological weapon. The Scythians would use
We'll get to it.
would use poisoned arrows during warfare, tainted with a mixture of viper venom, corpses, human blood, and poo.
I would.
Corpses, like rotting human flesh?
Yeah, they
dip it in the dead bodies.
shit over the walls, and
But they'd put the arrows in the dead bodies to get all that bacteria.
yeah, guarantee whoever got shot, even if it was just like a minor wound, they would get
you
sepsis
die later.
and die. Yeah.
Yeah, holy shit.
Venom, corpse
it's
juice,
kind of
blood, and
brilliant.
Yeah.
If these arrows were to puncture someone, it would cause major infections. In 12th century China, they would catapult an explosive device made from hemp string, gunpowder, poop, and poison. So this device would be lit before it was flung at the enemy. So basically, it was like a cannon, a big poop
a
bomb.
What did the purpose of the poop serve, or was it like sulfur in the poop that helped make it explosive?
I think just infection. Why not?
Oh.
It was probably an adhesive agent somehow too.
Got it. Okay.
And yeah, if it's like, physically harming you and then raining infectious shit all over your wounds.
Not great.
And potentially in your water supply. And
oh, God. Okay.
More recently, in 2009, Russian guy Alexander Georgievich Semenov filed a patent for a device that would allow tanks to fire shit.
No, we don't need that to happen.
There are so many people spending so much time
learning how to rain shit down on the masses.
How to make worse weapons.
Yeah.
Well, if you're fighting in active battle and you're stuck in a tank and you have to shit in there, it's a way to expel it and also a way to cause damage outside of the tank.
Yeah.
His patent was approved. So
great.
Destroy morale.
Yeah.
God.
According to the Guinness Book of World Records, in 2017, George Franzen obtained the title of the world's largest coprolite collection. So coprolite is also known as fossilized feces.
I gave a little bit of that to Bill as an early gift.
Mm-hmm.
That's cute.
I have some somewhere, but I don't remember what it is. It's not that cute looking.
I think it is. I think it's cute, the little poopies.
My Uncle David has one that looks like a
full human turd.
It's awesome.
SS Black Boo.
He used to keep it on his desk at work. It's like one of my earliest memories.
Fossilized Kenyon's epic shit. Live on.
Had it not flushed, it would still be there today.
Maybe it's fossilized somewhere.
Get our deposit back
in the bed of the bay, down in the
rattling
silt.
around that boat's tank.
It sank the ship.
Slowly turning, trying to flush.
I don't know why we're slowly capsizing on this one side.
Check the toilet. Okay.
Oh my God.
So coprolites are rock hard and have no smell. So at the time, Franzen had amassed 1,277 pieces of prehistoric poop since starting his collection as a paleontology student. He has collected poop from 15 states and 8 different countries worldwide, which I don't think is that impressive.
No, I thought you were going to say much bigger numbers.
Yeah.
Well,
Not that...
Get on it, Franzen.
Seriously.
Like, someone has to have the world's biggest collection, but it's just not that impressive.
Right.
Forensically speaking, thank you, Amanda, there are a couple of different tests investigators can use to determine whether a suspected sample is, in fact, poop. Because maybe it's chocolate. Maybe it's stinky dirt. Who knows? One of these tests is called the, I don't know how to say any of this, urobilinogen test, which detects bilirubin, which is the brownish yellow byproduct of the breakdown of the red blood cells that we discussed up top. Mm-hmm. So it's basically exclusive to poop. Mm-hmm. Without blood or mucus present, though, this test can't determine the species of origin, only that it is some kind of poop.
Okay.
DNA can be extracted from as little as 10 milligrams wet weight of feces. Also, wet weight really grossed me out.
Nasty. That's also and we'll kind of get to it, but that's like a recent technology. Being able to extract DNA from feces.
I was surprised to learn that the DNA from a certain individual's poop is exactly the same DNA as what you'd get from their blood.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that surprised me, but it did.
Yeah.
But the process of getting it is obviously not the same. So they developed this technology like in the 2000s.
So watch out if you're pranking
poop
people.
bandit.
Yeah.
Use dog poop.
So particular crimes can be solved specifically from fecal samples, including illegal dumping.
When I saw that, what did they call it? Fly fitting or
Fly
something?
fitting. It's the British
weird.
way of saying it. I had to Google it.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay,
But like
never heard that.
if you're dumping all of your own trash, like Kenyon, we had to do this in China. You can't flush toilet paper, so you just had to put all your poopy toilet paper in a garbage bag, and then we just kind of put that near the closest public garbage can.
Oh dear.
Oh
I forgot about that too. I blocked
Fly
out
fitting.
a lot.
Blocked out a lot. So fly fitting, illegal dumping, also harassment. Like if you shit on your neighbor's lawn, they can figure out whose shit it is. Bestiality.
Don't want to even think about how that works. Okay.
Well, usually
I don't want to
bestiality
think
is
about it.
okay.
Take a sample, swab it, send it to the lab.
Rape, particularly if anal sexual assault is involved, but also not exclusively, but that makes sense. There could also just be an abnormal mental aberration involved that would cause a person to shit themselves while they're committing a crime, or just plain nervousness. You just shit yourself. I don't know.
Or sometimes they linger and don't flush. You know, like the
Sometimes
criminal
it's like
will.
also
Yeah.
an intentional calling card.
Yeah.
Like I was actually bummed that I already covered that case of like the guy who was the serial killer who was like murdering women in bathtubs, like stabbing them in
Yeah.
bathtubs. And then he would take those like rancid, he was like sick and he took those like rancid, like purple shits
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
and left them in the
Beats.
toilet.
That was
Yeah.
so weird. Also, Amanda Knox, wasn't there shit
Oh,
in
I-
the toilet at the victims?
We'll get to it. That was going to
Oh.
be my case that I,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well, all right. An investigator would also look for fecal transfer on clothing, underwear. You know, what are they called?
Streaks,
Streaks.
because straight men think it's gay to clean your butt. I promise you, it's not.
What is with the streaks in the underwear?
They don't,
I don't
know
know. Get
how
you a
to
man
wipe.
who
They don't want to
loves a
spend.
bidet.
Yes, they don't want to spend time with their hand
I'm
by their
not-
butthole.
I'm not putting up with that.
Nope.
Oh my God, get some wipes.
We have a tushy.
Have
it's the
some
best.
dignity.
Yeah.
Literally.
Also, doesn't it get itchy when you leave
yes,
shit on your
and
butthole?
it reeks.
I'm not.
Y'all are disgusting. There are
Wash,
full,
yes.
There are full communities of straight, primarily white men who think it is like quote unquote gay to wash your butt
Or
because
they're
they don't
just-
want to touch their own buttholes.
They've never. They're just like
Yes.
unhygienic in general. Like they
Well,
don't
sure,
wash
but
their hands
I'm-
after they pee.
Specifically, there's like a whole
That's
culture
a real
of-
thing?
Yes.
I thought that was just
it's
a
real.
joke.
So
No. It's real.
Oh my
It's
God.
real.
Okay. Well,
it's
yeah.
nasty.
Poop kind of gets everywhere. So
Yeah.
good chance of transfer poop.
Also, close the toilet bowl before you flush
Yeah.
because she sprays all over your toothbrush.
Yeah, it's really gross actually that
Mm-hmm.
we keep our toothbrushes in the bathroom. Someday I want to have the little poop room
Its own room.
separate from
That's nice.
the sinks.
When I
Someday.
had
Then you can
medicine
get ready
cabinet-
while the other person's pooping.
yeah. When I had a medicine cabinet at my old place, I used to keep my toothbrush in there.
That's smart.
But I don't have that now.
So DNA from a poop sample can be matched up with a blood or saliva sample that might already be on file to identify someone. Again, this really shocked me and I was very impressed. Also, coolest of all, the color of a perp's poop can be an indicator of drug use.
Oh yeah, because I think if you do like heroin or opioids, you can get really really constipated.
Yep.
Okay.
And other chemical. I didn't Google the
whatever.
details,
Various-
but if it's green or if it's black or if it's red, even that can indicate certain chemicals.
Sure.
So just to close this out, I have a couple fun facts. I know my
Just to
segment's
pinch this
pretty-
off.
Just to pinch this off. Sloths only poop once a week, and when they do, it's called the poop dance.
Oh,
Cute.
should have buried the lead much.
Step. That's so cute.
It's so cute. So this is from Mental Floss. Two-toed sloths often let her rip from the trees, but three-toed sloths follow a bizarre routine that has baffled scientists. They typically make their way down to the forest floor to relieve their backed up bowels, because they only go once a week, And once they get there, they do a little poop dance while digging a little hole with their feet to poop inside the hole.
They're making a patty.
Yeah.
That's the cutest thing ever.
Oh my god.
Oftentimes
Amanda, you're not allowed to adopt a three-toed sloth.
I want one.
Oftentimes they will have a favorite tree picked out to poop at the bottom of.
Stop.
And then after they're done with their business, they finish up with another dance to cover up their poop.
Oh, they pat down the dirt
How
over their
cute.
Sloths
poop.
are incredible.
Oh.
They're so weird.
They're
I
so
love
weird.
them. I love.
I like the noises they make. In 1961, Italian artist Piero Manzoni filled 90 tin cans with his own poop, labeled it artist's shit, and then sold them.
Love it.
They were
Wow.
They were priced according to their equivalent weight in gold.
Love it.
It's giving OnlyFans.
Totally.
Like early OnlyFans.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Over the years, many of these cans have actually exploded due to gas-producing bacteria trapped inside.
It's like that girl I covered on GAC who's like a TikTok / OnlyFans star who was like selling her farts in a jar.
She's from 90 Day Fiancé.
Okay. And she got really sick because she was like eating crazy shit
Yeah.
to get these farts.
Yep.
Girl,
Gotta be careful.
you don't have to actually do that.
She just
send
made she made
jars
a lot
of air.
money. I know.
Listen.
Okay, so the poop cans exploded. This didn't seem weird to many people because the remaining cans are now seen as really rare and worth way more than their equivalent in gold now. The ones that didn't explode.
Do you think they gain or lose value when they explode?
There's nothing left. I mean,
Probably lose.
But you have an exploded can. I wonder.
Pretty cool.
It's still art.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah.
I think
No,
I need
spend-
to invest. The
spend
stock
Sonia's
market I
college
do not
fund.
understand, but
Please
Shit
spend
in a
Sonia's
can.
college fund on exploded cans that might be like Renaissance era
It's
fart cans.
the new Bitcoin.
an art.
It's the new Bitcoin.
Shit
collector.
Shit coin.
I'm sure that
Shit
already
can
exists.
Whatever. Okay. Kopi Luwak. I think I'm saying that right. I think I'm saying it wrong. Whatever. Why am I so
Cop
confident?
something. Cop you something.
Kopi Luwak is the
'Cause
world's
that's like poop.
most exclusive and expensive coffee. It's produced from coffee beans, which are partially digested by the Indonesian palm civet. There's a picture on the drive.
So
it's like a
cute.
little monkey cat thing.
Oh, that is really cute, but I do not want to eat its coffee shits or drink them.
And then the coffee beans are then pooped out. It's not really a type of coffee, but rather a production method. So
Yeah.
they gather up the little coffee turds, and then the outer layer of the excreted bean is removed and cleaned thoroughly before being roasted.
I don't care how thoroughly it's cleaned.
You've tried it,
Well-
haven't you?
I have not tried this coffee, but we currently own a bottle of gin. It's one of the few things that we brought back from South Africa
Oh,
in our
God.
luggage because
Oh,
we weren't
no.
allowed
It's
to
illegal,
pack it.
isn't it?
It's not illegal. Well, maybe here it is, but it's gin made from elephant poop.
Cool.
It's
Can
the
I come
same
over when
thing.
you bust it open?
Absolutely.
Like they eat and then just excrete the elderberry or whatever, elder whatever it
whatever
is it's
they
made of.
eat some leaf, something the elephants do, and then they poop, and then their poop is taken and dried and processed or whatever, and then turned into gin.
Cool.
Juniper berry.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I don't know if it's actual juniper berries that they eat or something similar. And
I mean, it must be because that's what gin is made from.
I don't know. I'll Google it.
That's so weird.
Well, according to this
I don't love it.
I
I'm not
do.
gonna lie.
Th-
Don't love
This
it.
coffee is not bitter and is super aromatic.
I bet.
Its profile has been described as smooth, earthy, and sweet with a hint of chocolate.
a type 4 shit. The ideal type 4.
Yeah, I love a good type 4.
All right. The
Ugh.
gin is called Indlovu, which is which means elephant. I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
And Yeah, it's from Elephant Dung, blah, blah, blah. I'm on their website. It's great. I don't know. There's a photo of a man picking dung out in the bush.
I just have to imagine that they're eating juniper berries because if they're calling it gin, that's like the foundation of what gin is made from.
I understand that, but I don't know if they're just adding juniper berries to make it gin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, maybe in a way that vodka can be made out of several different like base materials.
Right.
I guess. Yeah.
It's made using multiple flavoring runs.
I don't think that clears anything up.
All right,
I
love it.
The extracted botanicals from the dung are just infused into the gin. Because I don't think juniper berries are growing in the bush where the elephants are. Got it.
That makes sense.
Well, I'm glad we got to the bottom of that.
Okay.
We've also gotten to the bottom of my segment.
Well done.
Good.
Thanks.
Good
I feel
work.
much relief.
Okay, are we ready for my case?
Yeah, the really sad one. Let's do it.
I got a snack, a comfort snack.
Good. You're going to need it. Okay, I want to preface my case by saying that it's really senseless and it is truly heartbreaking. And the topic of sexual kinks are going to come up a little bit. And while we may talk about our own preferences on this episode, nothing we say should be interpreted as kink shaming, because that is not our intention. And actually, I think this case in a weird way will demonstrate how dangerous like societal stigmatization of sexual kinks can be, but like equally just like the fear of that stigmatization can be really dangerous.
Okay.
So I don't want to get bogged down in that debate. And I also don't want to like have that debate detract from this case.
The crime.
And the crime and the fact that like a young life was taken way, way, way too soon. Okay. So this story takes place in southern Colorado in a town called Durango, which is at the base of the Rockies. It's a very idyllic setting.
I like
Colorado is
gorgeous,
not to be believed. Mark and Elaine Redwine were married in 1989 and lived in Durango with their 2 children. Their son Corey was born in 1992, followed by Dylan in 1999. This was Mark's second marriage, so he also had an older son from a previous marriage, but his older son didn't live with them. Then in 2000, when Dylan was still just a little baby, Mark and Elaine got divorced. So now Mark's had his second divorce. And this was not some Gwyneth Paltrow-esque conscious uncoupling. This was a pretty acrimonious, drawn-out, messy legal battle. And that ended with the mom, Elaine, getting full custody of Corey and Dylan. But Mark did retain visitation rights. And at first, he didn't really follow through with spending a lot of time with his sons. And they were both still fairly young. But like, as they got older, I think that changed and he wanted to spend more time with them. Or he wanted to piss off Elaine. I don't know. So eventually Elaine and her 2 boys move 300 miles away to Colorado Springs because like life moves on. Maybe she has a new opportunity or a new relationship. I don't know. She wants to move. She has every right to do that. But Elaine and Mark still have to occasionally interact when Mark wants to arrange visits because he is entitled to some visitation, but they have to like figure that out because they're 300 miles away.
Sure.
So in 2010, so about a decade into their divorce, the boys witnessed a fight between their parents who are, not together anymore, but they're interacting.
Yeah.
And that fight turns violent. And by turns violent, I mean Mark becomes violent towards their mom. And this is probably not the first time that has happened. But, at least Dylan was really little when they stop living together.
So the boys are like late teens.
Yeah.
Dylan is like 11 at this point.
Okay, so tween.
Yeah, and Corey's
Preteen.
older.
Oh, okay.
So the boys decide that they really just would prefer to cut their father out of their lives. And so their visits back to Durango become even more rare. But then this leads to Mark stirring up some legal shit and demanding that his visitation now be mandated. But it's like, dude, the boys, like, they saw you get physically aggressive and violent with their mom and they don't want to be around you.
I'm pretty convinced that, like, when shit like this happens, it's not even because the parent wants to be with the children.
It's just to fuck with the ex.
It's a power and control thing, especially when violence is involved. This guy doesn't give a fuck about his kids, or he wouldn't have fucking hit his wife right in front of his children. Or at all, for that matter.
He didn't put in the effort when the kids were little, probably when it was like harder to take care of them, but now...
Now they can wipe their own ass, so I want to see them all the time, just to piss you off.
But do they wipe their own ass?
Yeah.
I hope so. I'm going to assume the children are blameless in this.
Yes. So Corey, by this time, is old enough to not be legally obligated to see his father. He's like aged out of the custody stuff. But Dylan, who is now 12 years old, has to submit to these mandatory visits with his dad. But Corey is a kind and protective big brother, so he decides to accompany Dylan on at least some of these mandatory visits so that he's not alone.
Oh, that's sweet.
Which is sweet. So for Father's Day weekend in 2011, Mark, Dylan, and Corey go on a road trip together through the Midwest. One night, they're all like chilling, sleeping in their motel. I don't know if Mark is asleep or if they have two motel rooms. Probably they have two motel rooms. I'm not sure. Or maybe he's out, whatever. It doesn't matter. He's not seeing this. Dylan is fucking around, opens his dad's laptop, and happens to see something on his dad's laptop. He is startled. He's probably confused. At first, he's not really even sure what he's looking at, so he wakes up his big brother, Corey. What he had stumbled upon, totally by accident, were photos of Mark engaging in various sexual kinks. Specifically, in some photos, he was wearing women's or femme underwear, and then in others, he was wearing adult diapers. And then the bulk of the photos involved Mark eating actual shit, presumably human shit, out of a diaper.
Okay.
So these are Mark's private photos. He didn't like post them anywhere, and the boys didn't intend to find them. They weren't snooping. They just
They're
happened.
teenage boys with access to a laptop.
Right.
And they opened it.
Right.
Like, what are you going to do?
Right. And he Mark, it's his personal laptop. It was probably just in his iPhotos.
Right.
Who is he trying to hide it from?
Right.
So at first the boys do nothing. Well, actually, at first they document what they found. They took photos of the photos with one of their cell phones, which I feel like is logical to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want proof.
I can't say I wouldn't have done the same thing.
Right. At that age? Yeah. Then I imagine they closed the laptop and then they only talked about what they had seen with one another. So they're processing. It's always horrible to think about your parents having any sexual life whatsoever.
Yeah. No thanks.
But
this would be a little more shocking.
This is a little more shocking, a little edgier. This is also 2011, and these are two adolescent boys, and they already have a really complicated and bad relationship with their father.
They're on a fucking road trip.
They're on a fucking road trip, staying in fucking motels throughout the Midwest.
Oh my God.
It'd be a lot.
And they have a lot of anger towards him. He has modeled angry and violent behavior towards both of them in the past.
Not great.
None of this is good. So almost a year goes by. The boys have not confronted their dad. They have not let on to what they've seen. They only talk about it with each other. I don't think they've mentioned anything to their mom either.
Were they even like aware that the photos were sexual in nature? Because it's like, I mean,
I think Corey was old enough to have definitely made
kind of like
that
when you know, you
connection.
know.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think also because the like women's underwear photos were first.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then
I assume there
The
were
shit
context
eating.
clues in
Right.
those series of pictures.
if it were just the 11-year-old, it might just be way confusing and he didn't
Right.
know what he was looking at.
right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that there wasn't another person involved, so it was like,
Not that I know.
Overtly.
I haven't looked at all of them. I've looked at some of them.
oh god.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, in Corey, the older brother, in his mental framing, he and his little brother are a team. Their dad is the enemy. And they now have some powerful ammunition to drop on him when they
He fucks
need
up.
it.
Mm-hmm.
They have something that they think is embarrassing and that they can hold over him because he has been he has created this situation. If they had a
Right.
loving relationship,
It would have been a different situation.
right.
It's ammo for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a quote from Corey Redwine. Quote, Dylan lost any reasons for him to look up to Mark that day, describing it as a break in his younger brother's deteriorating relationship with his father. End quote. So then the inevitable happens. Something snaps. Corey and his dad get into an argument. Corey is a teenager. He's pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
He loses it and he drops the bomb. He tells his dad that they saw the photos.
Ugh.
And then Corey texts his little brother Dylan and asks him to send the proof, send the photos of the photos,
Oh, God. Dad's going to freak the fuck out.
saying, hey, quote, hey, send me those poop pics of Papa because he gave a speech about you guys being a bad example and I want to show him what he really is.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
I don't like where this is going.
So the next time that Dylan was scheduled to visit his father during one of these mandated visits was Thanksgiving 2012. He did not want to go. He knew about the blowout fight that Corey and his dad had had. He just didn't want to go anyway. To make matters worse, Corey was now 20 and was decidedly not going on this
Yeah,
trip.
not even to protect his brother. He's out. He's done.
out.
Mm-hmm.
And his brother's older now.
Sure.
You know, he's 13. Like, he's like, I'm not going to see dad for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you
Like,
got to fend
no.
for yourself.
Right.
I'm not doing it.
So Dylan had to go alone. And Elaine was really reluctant to send him because she didn't know about all the photos stuff, but she knew how much Dylan didn't want to go. And she knew that Mark had been violent. Obviously, he'd been violent toward her.
Mm-hmm.
But she would be violating a court order
Yep.
if she didn't make him go.
Yeah, she doesn't have a choice.
She didn't have a choice. So, and if she had violated a court order, that would have jeopardized her own custody rights
Correct.
in the future.
She
and
could
she
get
could have
arrested.
lost him forever.
Yep.
Yeah. And then he would have to spend more time with his dad.
Mm-hmm.
So she did not have a choice. She had to get him on that plane.
Mm-hmm.
So Dylan then asked to stay with some of his friends in the area instead of with Mark, but this request was denied. I also don't know how many friends he had in that area still. He had some, but I don't know even how like close they still were because he didn't live there full time.
Maybe anything would have been better than staying with his dad. So
Right.
he's just like, hey, remember me from 6th grade? Can I
Yeah,
sleep over?
right.
Right.
Right. And that was denied. They were like, no, you're spending Thanksgiving with your dad. So on November 18th, 13-year-old Dylan Redwine flew from Colorado Springs to Durango. He was picked up by Mark at the airport. Elaine texted her son after his plane landed, making sure that he
made
got
it okay
picked
and-
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Dylan, like his dad there, like, is my piece of shit ex-husband there? Like, did he pick you up from the airport like he said he would? And Dylan was like, yes. He literally just wrote back yes with a frowning face emoji,
Okay.
which is so heartbreaking.
Do we know what happened after? Did Corey show the dad the photos
I
after
believe
Dylan
so.
sent them? But we don't really know what the fallout was from that.
No. I mean, I'm assuming that
It wasn't
They
great.
weren't speaking. Like, I don't know. Dylan Redwine, this little 13-year-old boy, would never be seen alive again.
Oh, God.
So Mark would later tell police the following story. On the morning of November 19th, so the next day, Mark says that he left the house to run errands, leaving Dylan sleeping on the couch. But when he came back a few hours later, Dylan was gone. So Mark said that he assumed Dylan had gone for a walk or went to see his friends or something. And, he's 13 and whatever, like maybe he just...
Yeah, peaced out for a little bit.
Right. So Mark says that he started to text him, asking him to come home or at least call back and let him know where he was. When he didn't hear from Dylan for a few hours, Mark said he finally texted his ex-wife saying that he couldn't get a hold of Dylan and like, have you heard from him, whatever. Elaine had not. She immediately called the cops and filed a missing persons report because Elaine was not fucking around.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what Elaine thought had happened initially. She knew that Dylan wanted to stay with his friends and not with his dad. So maybe she believed this story and thought her son had tried to like run away or sneak out, hide with his buddies somewhere. But Elaine also knew her ex-husband and his violent temper.
And even if he had snuck out, like she, from what I can gather from this story, had a good relationship with her son.
Yeah.
And if she had called or texted him and just said, seriously, I don't
know if
care
you're
where you
safe.
are. I just need to know if you're safe. I have to believe that he would have responded.
Right.
And so every alarm bell in her
Right.
fucking head is going, this is not right. Even if he was mad at you and trying to get away from you, he's still going to talk to me.
Right.
What the fuck is going on?
Right. She knew it was not okay.
Right.
So maybe she never believed Mark. Maybe she was instantly suspicious. I don't know. But alarm bells are going off and she's not wasting any time. A week goes by. Dylan is still missing. There are no leads.
Oh, God.
Seems curiously unbothered.
Yeah.
A massive search is ongoing with divers, police dogs, hundreds of volunteers searching for Dylan in like the Colorado wilderness.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
Mark does not participate. Elaine also she called to report him missing, and then she and I think her new husband, or the stepdad, I think, got in the car and started driving.
Immediately went there.
Yeah.
Yep.
A couple of weeks after Dylan's disappearance, the case officially becomes a criminal investigation. Investigators rule out the runaway theory because Dylan's phone was never used. And he never responded when his friends texted him or Elaine or Corey.
And I'm sorry, when was this?
2011,
Okay, so they also have
2012.
the capacity to track
Track the phone, pings.
cell phones. And
But it was off.
Also, I believe that they interviewed local friends and they were like, no, there was not a plan for him to run away and he's not staying with any of us.
Yeah.
He's a good boy.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
So Mark Redwine's home and truck are searched and he becomes a person of interest. Investigators do find blood in the house. It was on the couch where Dylan had been sleeping. It was on tables, rugs. Mark's girlfriend at the time says that the blood must have come from a year ago when Dylan cut his finger.
And just
No.
sprayed it all around the living room.
No.
Blood exists. There are teenage boys get hurt. It's not like
We don't clean around here.
I doubt they did very much. And I don't think there was a massive amount of blood.
Okay.
It wasn't like, oh, someone bled out here.
Okay. Then sure, maybe.
Yeah.
But still.
So time goes on. Mark is still a person of interest, but they don't have a body and they don't have enough to charge him with anything. Mark ends up going on Dr. Phil
No. Why do they always go on Dr. Phil?
with his ex-wife Elaine and son Corey.
A what?
Yeah. It's a very uncomfortable episode. I haven't watched the whole thing.
I have to watch it.
Oh, no.
Elaine and Corey accuse Mark of having something to do with Dylan's disappearance. Mark
On the
denies it,
show.
and
On the show?
yeah,
Oh.
Elaine's not fucking around. She's like, this is her piece of shit ex-husband.
Yeah. Wow, that's brave.
Why would he go on the show? Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, because he's a narcissist. Mark denies it, agrees to take a polygraph on the air.
Wow.
But when it came time to take the polygraph, Mark asked that they push it back a day.
Uh-huh.
Oh, good. What's he going to do?
Then that day comes and he says he doesn't feel well. He cancels again. Can we reschedule?
I don't feel well either, Mark.
I never fucking feel well.
Can't recall the last time I did.
Nope.
Then there is an incredible moment, and yes, this is all on the show, so Lucy, you can look this up,
I'm looking it up.
where Mark sits between Dr. Phil and some other guy, and they are pleading and trying to pressure Mark into taking the polygraph that he'd already previously agreed to take,
Right.
and then is now backing out on. And then Dr. Phil goes back to the audience looking exhausted, and he goes on stage with his collar unbuttoned and his tie undone, but like still theatrically hanging from his neck in a way that only Dr. Phil
Dr. Phil
does.
is such a drama queen.
He is.
And
He
he
knows good TV.
Yeah. And he informs the audience that the polygraph never happened. Mark never followed through. So interestingly, at one point, possibly before this episode, Mark did take a polygraph with police, which he failed.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
So I don't know why he agreed to take it on Dr. Phil. I think he just was on the spot and was like,
Right.
I'll take polygraph. And then,
Right.
and then he was like, no, I'm not doing this. So finally, on June 27th, 2013, some of Dylan's remains, some bones, were found in a wooded area about 10 miles from Mark's house.
no.
I knew, but like I didn't want it. I didn't
know.
want it to be true.
Actually, I think first they found one of Dylan's shoes, and then they narrowed the search area, and then they
God.
found some bones.
There is nothing sadder than like a lone lost child's shoe. Oh God, I can't. No.
For sale, baby shoes, never
It was
worn.
never worn.
So the remains were DNA tested against, this is so sad. They were DNA tested against one of Dylan's baby teeth that Elaine had saved.
Honey.
Keep the teeth.
Yeah, he's just a kid. What other DNA are they going to have on file for this poor boy?
Yeah, but she's a mom and she saved his baby teeth.
Hell yeah. It's one of those creepy mom things. It's what you do.
What if I got, what's it called? Subpoenaed my vial of random people's baby teeth.
That'd be amazing.
That would be amazing. But I
Depends
also
on the
hope for you
circumstances.
Someday, if you win the lottery
test
and
them
you have
all.
fun money, you can test them all.
Have them all submitted to CODIS
You want them
against
back?
the wishes
You want one all
of the
together?
people who gave them to you. Want one all together.
Send letters to all the loved one, the surviving family.
I know this is coming out of nowhere, but I tracked you down because I have your baby teeth from
Your child's
from
teeth.
40
Lucy,
years ago.
I want our listeners to know, too, that I said something about, like, Sonia getting some of her first teeth because she has two little bottom teeth right now. And Lucy goes, oh, are you going to save them for me? And I was like, no, I'm going to save them for me.
A lot of people don't save them.
I just like that you immediately asked if she was going to save them for you, not are you going to save them, period.
I should have asked, are you going to save them? And if your answer was no, then I
follow
would
up.
have. I just
Yeah,
jumped.
you should've.
I jumped the gun.
jumped the
Oh,
shark.
You
so
did.
sorry. It's the worst thing I've ever said.
I know. I think it's funny and telling. I wasn't
Definitely
offended.
not the worst thing you've
it
ever
was-
said.
It was just confirmation
long
of who
shot.
you are.
Are you going to save them for me? If you ever get sick of them,
Sure. Absolutely.
my baby's going to have DNA everywhere.
Everywhere.
So, okay, so they found his remains, and now this is not just a disappearance or whatever.
It's
a murder. Well, it's a death
investigation.
Suspicious death investigation.
Did they find his whole body?
So far, they have found a shoe and some bones.
Oh, okay.
God.
How long was it that he was disappeared for?
A little over a year.
Oh my God.
Around a year. June.
This poor family.
In the woods.
I can't math.
Okay.
So Mark starts to tell people that the most likely scenario is that his son had wandered off and was attacked by an animal like a bear or a cougar.
Grow up, Mark.
So he starts to try to like shape the narrative.
Jesus.
2 years later, Dylan's skull was found 5 miles from where his bones had been.
Separate, way separate.
5
and
miles
the skull
separate.
probably will reveal some cause of death
Has a
information.
hole in it.
Mm-hmm.
The skull helped investigators determine a cause of death.
There it is.
Dylan had a skull fracture above his left eye. He had died from a sharp blow to the head.
Oh my God.
Ew, like an axe.
I don't know. I never read about a specific murder weapon.
Sharp blow to the head.
I mean, it could have been any heavy object.
Sharp object.
Yeah.
It's interesting that it's not blunt force trauma.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, sharp does kind of
Fireplace
imply,
poker.
yeah, the blow poke, or an axe, or
Even a
And,
certain type of a lamp.
Sure, something with a sharp edge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with axe.
Well, so now police ask Mark to take a second polygraph. I'm sure they now want to question him about some of this new information.
And
because
Dr.
now
Phil needs a follow-up episode.
Mm-hmm.
and he refuses. It is reported that Mark was seen driving an ATV near where Dylan's remains were found just days before that area was searched.
He was checking. Fuck.
Ew.
Oh, that's so gross.
Plus, Mark's first wife, Betsy, tells investigators that if her ex-husband were to get rid of a body, he would, quote, do it in the mountains. So she's not like, no, he would never. She's like,
I know
yeah,
exactly where you would do it.
but it'd probably be around the mountains because he's got this fucking ATV and he lives out there. And why wouldn't you do it that way?
Right.
Don't trust a grown man with an ATV who lives in the mountains.
It's not
It's not
great.
cute.
It's also very obvious from the way that he was like, well, I have a theory. That, like,
Yeah.
that's exactly how he wanted it to look.
Correct. Yeah.
Don't offer
Oh,
a theory.
Must be a bear. Yeah, never offer a theory if you're
No.
in the hot seat.
No.
Yeah.
So then the photos get leaked to the public. And honestly, I am not
what if Corey
judging.
did
I
it?
forgot
Yeah.
about the poop photos.
I'm not judging whoever did it. Maybe Corey did it. Maybe Elaine did it. Maybe one of the lawyers did it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mark,
Honestly, it doesn't matter
It doesn't
what
matter.
the kink is. Like, this guy is a piece of shit. And if I had something on him that he didn't want the public to know, and I was in this situation, I'd probably leak his shit too.
right.
Because I know I'm a piece of shit. And I hate this fucking
Well,
guy.
I think sometimes when someone murders their own son
Yeah.
Yeah.
out of vanity and embarrassment, maybe
Yeah.
they don't get to have,
Privacy.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever. So, Mark claims that these are photoshopped. That's all part of, for lack of a better word, a smear campaign
Oh, God. No.
against him.
Oh, you're on such a streak.
I had a pretty good run.
No!
That was a
No!
smooth transition.
Thank you for all those compliments, but don't be a brown noser.
Oh.
Oh shit, Amanda's gonna barf.
She's gonna blow.
She's gonna get the back of the bowl.
Okay. Nobody's buying it. So he's like, these are me. Blah, 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 blah. No, yeah,
Full
you
of shit.
fucking suck, dude. You're full of shit.
There you.
You're a piece of
Own
shit.
it.
You're full of shit. Nobody's buying your shit. Yeah. So the evidence against Mark is mounting. He now had motive, means, and opportunity to commit this heinous crime. Now that they have Dylan's remains, investigators get cadaver dogs to search Mark's home and clothing, and the dogs alert to the smell of death in the home. Finally, in August of 2017, Mark Redwine is arrested and charged with second-degree murder and child abuse resulting in death. Still, it took years for this case to get to trial, partially because of COVID, but not entirely, which didn't begin until 2021.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Was he sitting in jail that whole time waiting for his trial?
I don't know if he got bonded out or not. I'm not sure.
I don't think you can be out on bail if you're convicted of like certain things, can you?
He wasn't convicted, though. He was charged.
Well, that's what I mean.
It's really more case by case.
Yeah.
Like your judge, there aren't like blanket rules necessarily for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I
It would
didn't
just
read
be
anything
a
about
really
that.
high bond.
Probably. Or, an affordable bond for him, but with the stipulation that he's essentially on house arrest until trial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I gotta watch more TV.
So he pleads not guilty. The prosecution's theory is not complicated. They allege that Dylan may have brought up the photos during an argument, or even just alluded to them, or even just said, "You're a piece of shit."
Yeah.
Right.
Or even not, the photos didn't come up at all. He just,
Gave him a look.
I have a feeling they did, though.
they probably did, but they
Yeah.
don't have evidence that they
that
did.
no one else was in the room, so they're not gonna know.
True. It just really that to me feels like the most powerful motive
Right.
for something like this.
So somehow Mark gets pissed, angry, blows up, hits his child in the head, kills him. Then figures he has to get rid of the body, knows he has to try to hide the wound to the head, decapitates the body, probably
Oh my God.
in an effort to disguise the remains if they were ever found, goes up into the mountains and hides them.
Your own son.
Your own son.
That's what bears and wolves do, too. They just decapitate and then take the head somewhere else.
He's not
Yeah,
the brightest
yeah.
bulb.
Yeah, your
The
own child. Jesus fuck.
Which, like, honestly, I think this is probably the most likely theory, and it's the strongest case that the prosecution could have made to try to get a conviction. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that this was premeditated.
No.
You know?
Okay.
He's at his house for Thanksgiving. The other son's not there to defend him.
Right.
I could definitely see it. I could see it either way, honestly.
Yeah.
I could see we got into a fight. I'm abusive anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going to whack you with this fucking thing. Oh shit, I killed you. Now I'm scrambling to figure out
Right.
how to cover it up.
The
Right.
I
dad
could see either one.
The dad already knows that Dylan has the photos.
Right.
I don't know if he did at that point, though, because it was Corey who had confronted him. And we don't know if Corey told him that Dylan saw it, too.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
Corey
guess.
never...
So it could have taken him by surprise to be
Right.
like, oh shit, now both my kids
Right.
have seen these, and that could have contributed to how he responded in that
Right,
moment.
how reactive he was, yeah.
Right. Like the fear is even more overwhelming because now it's like, oh shit, the cat's really out of the bag.
Right. Yeah.
Or the diaper, so to speak.
Either one. So the defense stuck with the animal attack theory and was essentially like, let's not kink shame poor Mark, and the photos have nothing to do with this, and they're just trying to, again, smear him. Which honestly is not a terrible defense. Like,
No.
I think because the cadaver dogs alerted to the scent of like human death in Mark's home, then that's all the evidence we really need. But like, it's not the worst defense.
It's fair to say leave the photos and the kink
Right.
stuff out of it because it
Right.
should be unrelated.
No, and
If-
the only reason that it's even related
Is
in
because
any
of
way is
motive.
because it could have sparked a reaction. Yeah, it could be the motive.
Right.
And like,
Otherwise, it would not have been entered into evidence at all and should not should
Right.
not.
It's not applicable.
Not applicable. Right.
It's
If
not
Mark
applicable.
wasn't
Yeah.
monster,
No.
it has nothing
He
to do
showed-
with it.
Exactly. His kinks have nothing to do with him being an abusive piece of
Right.
shit. It could have been any other thing
Anything
that his son did or said to set him off that could have gotten him to hit him over the head.
that
You're
he was
ugly.
It's just in
embarrassed
this
about,
case,
or
it likely happened to be sensitive photos that he didn't
Right.
want shared publicly.
right,
That he didn't want his family or his children to know.
right.
Could have been anything else.
Right. Exactly. So the prosecution then counters. They bring in a bear expert to testify that in November, when Dylan went missing,
Dwight
almost
Schrute.
I want a bear expert.
almost all the bears would be deep into hibernation in that area.
Okay, so the timeline doesn't add up.
And would not be out and about hunting kids or even like having to protect their young unless Dylan
Hunting, period.
Yeah, unless Dylan like crawled into like a bear hole, which there's no evidence that he did. So the bear
Wow.
theory doesn't hold water.
Oh my
I love
god.
that's brilliant.
I
The
love
bear
a bear
expert,
expert.
brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Science.
Science.
I love it.
So the trial goes on for 5 weeks, but it only took the jury 1 day of deliberation to find Mark Redwine guilty of second-degree murder and child abuse, and he was
Fucking did
sentenced
it.
to 48 years in prison.
Bye-bye.
The judge, what?
Oh, I'm just reacting.
Oh,
How old was Mark at the time of his sentencing? Do we know?
He's gonna
Just
die
want to
in
know if he's
prison.
going to die in prison.
He's
Yeah.
gonna die in prison.
I think he's
Especially
gonna
be-
die in prison.
Especially being a
Okay.
child abuse
Sure.
resulting in death guy in prison.
Listen.
He's not a particularly healthy-looking dude, and 48
Okay.
years is a long time, and he
It sure
has
is.
one kid who's already in his 20s.
That's elderly for a Victorian child. Can you believe?
Yeah.
No.
48? My God.
And
You're
he's got an
ancient.
older kid than in his 20s. So he's got a kid who's probably in his late 20s.
Sure.
So math it up.
Okay.
So-
yeah, he's probably in his 60s at least when he was sentenced.
So the judge said later in an interview with the Durango Herald, quote, "I have trouble remembering a convicted criminal defendant that has shown such an utter lack of remorse for his criminal behavior.
For
It was all
decapitating
about
your
him."
child. God.
That's wild.
Mark did not speak at his sentencing hearing. Instead, he wrote a response that honestly just reads like a fucking Trump tweet. And this
Oh,
is part
God.
of it.
Is it in all caps?
Basically.
Are random words capitalized for
Yeah.
no
Covfefe.
reason?
Just imagine this in Trump's voice. Quote,
Oh, no.
"Innocent of all charges, miscarriage of justice, fake conviction, sham trial."
Oh, my God. This is literally what Trump is on trial for in
Trump
Georgia.
hired Mark Redwine to be his speechwriter.
Social media manager.
Mark Meadows. Red wine.
"I take this circumstance very seriously and want to make clear that I too have lost a child I love more than life itself. I will fight for true justice, not for myself, but for Dylan. I have always shown remorse for the things that I am guilty of. Stand against fake justice."
Fake
Wow. Wow.
news. God, what a psycho. He didn't even try.
Not even a little bit.
Nope. Calling the death of his child this circumstance.
I can't.
But I am not going to let that asshat have the last word, even if it is from behind bars. So this is something that Elaine had to say about her beloved son. Quote, "Dylan was sweet. He was funny. He was charismatic. He was very empathetic. He really cared about people and their feelings. Just very sweet."
Oh.
And it's just fucking senseless and
So sad.
horrible.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. Just decapitating your own kid. Even post-mortem.
Yeah.
That's next level
Just killing
fuckery.
killing your own kid
Killing
because
him
you're
and then-
embarrassed.
Well, right. And like, okay. I'm obviously not sympathizing with anyone in this situation. However, I can like understand psychologically
Yeah.
the freak out, the hit over the head. Oh my God, what have I done?
Mm-hmm.
But like, that's where it ends for me. That's when you turn yourself in, you call the police.
You die by
It's
suicide.
it's over.
You don't cover it
it's
up
done.
and continue to lie and go on Dr. Phil.
It's the Dr. Phil, but like the decapitation, the dismembering of your own child.
Riding around on an
To
ATV,
save your-
dropping
to save
parts.
your own butt.
The driving the head 5 miles away.
It's so beyond anything I could ever comprehend happening in nature. I like can't
And then getting caught and not
even taking any lick of responsibility
No.
for what you've done.
because
Because
it's all about
I do
him.
think it's all about him, and I do think that people like this, again, not to forgive or explain away anything, but I think that he is so deep in his delusion that there's even a part of him that truly believes he's innocent.
like Trump,
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so I can't
narcissistic
comprehend it.
abusers
Yes.
cannot feel guilt,
Nope.
so they will twist a circumstance
Yeah.
into such a way in that they are the victim, no matter what.
It's so sick.
Yeah.
It's so sick.
Yeah.
Wow. Well done.
Yeah.
Fucking yikes.
All right, so I'm like shook over how many crimes have been solved by feces.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're going to follow my ADHD bounce house brain for my segment tonight. When this topic was selected, hashtag Hot Girl Summer, like we talked about earlier, I started going down kind of an Amanda Knox rabbit hole because a huge part of her defense was the unflushed turd in her toilet during the timeline of the crime, which forensic DNA linked to Rudy Gade or Gade. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. Sorry. Exposing him as the exposing him as the killer of Meredith Kircher. But I really didn't want to cover that case because it's way too overdone. I knew Kenyon was doing a dark case. I started writing it. I got bored. I didn't want to do it. But it did get me wondering what cases have been solved by shit. So I compiled some short dives to satisfy my wandering mind.
Yes. I love your short dives.
I do too. First one's real sad. I mean, a lot of them are really sad, but it's fine. In 1997, Gail Shirley and her 16-year-old son returned home from running errands in their Ventura, California neighborhood, and she immediately realized that their home had been broken into. So her son's name, I know. She's got her 16-year-old son. His name is Jake. She called 911 to report the burglary and didn't realize that the culprit was still in the home, hiding in her closet.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. Yeah.
While she's in another room and while on the phone with 911, Jake, her son, could be heard in the background screaming, "I just got stabbed," followed
God.
by the sound of the front door of their home slamming.
Oh, my God.
She never saw the attacker, and police arrived to this poor woman administering CPR on her son and sobbing for him to, quote, breathe for mommy
Oh,
as
my
he's
God.
bleeding out. Yep. So he was rushed to an area hospital, but his blood loss was far too severe, and he died within hours of the attack.
Amanda.
Yeah, sorry. Did what I
Why?
could. Just 2 sons dying on an episode of the podcast. This is life.
Episode is as dark as Kenyon's shit in Mystic, Connecticut.
Yes, it is.
Oh, my God.
So she didn't see him, and now the only person who did see him had died. So this poor kid, he'd been stabbed 3 times in the neck and stomach. And one of the errands that Jake and Shirley had run that morning was taking Jake to do his driver's test that he had just passed that day.
That's like the best day of your young life.
Yeah, he was like freshly 16, just got his driver's license.
Oh, my God.
You're a monster.
I know. The knife used in the attack was found on the ground a few blocks away, and DNA matched the blood on the knife to Jake. The evidence in the home included a palm print and feces left at the scene.
So bizarre.
The feces, as described in court, was, quote, a huge pile of human feces inside a laundry basket in Shirley's bedroom closet, where he'd been hiding.
Isn't it like
So was he hiding in there for so long that he like had to take a shit?
Well, we don't actually know because he doesn't explain it. But the theory is, obviously, he's hiding in there when Shirley and Jake return home.
He was so
and
excited.
He either felt the urge and couldn't hold it and didn't want to reveal himself, or left it as like a foul calling card because he had actually been burglarizing houses in the neighborhood for like years before this.
Right.
Isn't it like a thing? Like a
It's a thing.
No,
Poop
like
bandits.
I haven't finished my sentence. A real thing that people shit in like Targets.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
I'm not talking about Barnes and Noble. I'm talking about like specifically shitting out
like in the aisle.
In the aisle, out in the open in a
Poop
Target.
bandits.
Oh.
That's a thing.
Oh, okay.
Not even if they're burglarizing something. Like you could be labeled a
like
poop bandit.
It's like a thrill-seeking
They're like
thing.
defecationists, like exhibitionists, defecators.
Yeah. And I was going to do a whole thing on poop bandits, but I just ran out of time. So it's 1997. We still didn't have the proper technology to extract DNA from feces. So with the palm print returning 0 leads, I don't think they could get like a good fingerprint match off of it. So the case went cold for years. Years and years and years and years.
Years?
Like almost 20 years.
Oh my God.
Should have had a Ring doorbell.
I guess not 20 years. Yeah, almost. Well, yeah. 1997 to April of 2014. So a long fucking time.
There's no way to know.
Yeah, almost 20 years. So April of 2014, scientists, like forensic scientists with the Ventura County Sheriff's Forensic Sciences Lab, take another look at the evidence because recently the technology had developed enough.
It's 17 years.
There you go. That's almost 20 years. I nailed it.
20 seconds later.
Had developed enough since the murder to extract DNA from the poop that they had collected at the scene.
Wow.
And so they're finally... Well, yeah, the case was open. It was just cold. So any evidence that was sitting in the locker,
I wonder how they stored it.
I don't know. I think it was dried, but you can rehydrate it.
Like in a mason jar? Like in a Ziploc?
I would imagine it was in like some kind of sealed Ziploc. Wow. Like one of those bio bags.
That's what I'm picturing.
So they were finally able to extract DNA from the feces and entered the results in CODIS. And thank God they found a match. A man named Marco Antonio Casillas was serving a 1-year term for a 2014 conviction for receiving stolen property and having a prior violent felony when the DNA match was made. And while in prison, he received a murder charge for killing Jake. When questioned by authorities as to why he was breaking into homes, quote, he told them, "People commit burglaries for the thrill of doing something bad," said Senior Deputy District Attorney Rebecca Day. She continues to say, "I imagine defecating in a woman's closet in a laundry basket was a clear sign of disrespect that gave the defendant that thrill, but he didn't just do something bad. He killed a 16-year-old boy whose life was cut short so the defendant could escape getting caught."
Yeah, that's not just a thrill. That's
murder.
That's just...
He murdered a child.
So fucking awful.
And like, okay, yeah, burglary is bad, but like, you wouldn't have gone to jail for the rest of your fucking life.
If you had just run out.
If you had just run out.
Or in the basket.
Caught.
Yeah, you may not have even gotten caught. Like, it happens all the time that even if they see who broke into their house.
Right.
You're fucking, I don't know. It's just like you said, it's like so fucking senseless. So at trial, his legal team called the 1997 incident, quote, a horrible, horrendous offense, but argued that the prosecution cannot place Casillas inside the home at the time of the killing.
What?
It's nuts. In his opening statement, his attorney said, quote, he was in the residence sometime that day.
Oh my God.
The question, we believe, calls for speculation whether he was there at the time of the murder.
Somebody else broke in earlier and pooped in the closet.
And stabbed him 3 times.
And then stabbed a child.
No, they were saying, we know it was him who broke in earlier and pooped in the closet because the poop matches him. It's someone else who came in and stabbed Jake.
That's what I'm saying. Emerging from the closet.
Right. So it was clear from the palm print at the scene that Casillas wasn't wearing gloves, and his fingerprints and DNA were not found on the murder weapon. So while the prosecution said this is likely because he wiped the handle clean before ditching the knife,
At least he wiped something.
Yeah, exactly. Because there was no other DNA found on that knife except for Jake's and then some like accidental DNA from the actual forensic investigator
so
who was
it had been
testing
wiped.
it. So it had to have been wiped off.
Right.
It didn't even have like, if the knife came from the house, it didn't even have like the family's DNA on it. So, yeah. So he wasn't wearing gloves. They're like, oh, it couldn't have been him. So the defense is like, no, he probably fucking wiped the knife off. But the prosecution saying that, but the defense is saying, no, it's because this is causing reasonable doubt as to whether he even held the knife at all, if his DNA wasn't on it.
They have to try, but
it was pretty flimsy. Quote, if Casillas didn't wear gloves in the house, there should be something on this knife, they said. Multiple times the knife was examined, but nothing about this knife brought it back to Casillas.
yeah.
Ultimately, the jury did not agree with this logic, and Casillas was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison.
Good.
Human feces isn't the only shit that can solve mysteries. This one's also really sad. Guys, I blew it. Okay. In September of 2000.
You really blew it.
Really fucking blew my load. Wayne Schumacher, Corby Myers, and Lynn Ganger were building a loft in a barn at an upscale home in Lakeville, Indiana, when 4 men came to burglarize the home on the property and stumbled upon these men working in the barn. The men were told, the men who arrived to burglarize, the burglars, were told about this house and the valuables in it and how to bypass the burglar alarm in order to get in by an 18-year-old teenager named Charity Lynn Payne.
No, Charity Lynn, what a troublemaker.
Charity Lynn, who had once dated like a son in the family and I think was probably a little scorned.
And was spouting off about
White Lotus shit.
A little bit. A little bit of White Lotus. That's the only time Charity Lynn makes an appearance here, but that's how they figured out about this house and how to break it.
It was enough.
It was enough. After one of the workers came out of the barn, one of the robbers decided the workers needed to be killed because they may have seen the license plate on their car and like their faces.
let's
Let's
just make everything
Worse. A lot
for
worse.
everyone.
Yeah. You know what makes a lot more sense than like maybe getting brought up on burglary charges? Triple homicide.
God.
Jesus fucking Christ. So these dudes, the burglars, took the workers back into the barn that they had been working in, tied them up, robbed them, and then shot each of them execution style before heading into the main house to grab whatever valuables they could.
Oh my God. Was this
So they're covered in blood before they go into the... Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, they shot them, so I don't know how, like, covered in blood they were.
They're not criminal masterminds. Was
No.
this like a drugs thing?
I don't even... there's nothing that I read that indicated it was a drugs thing. It was just
robbery.
Robberies, and I think the ringleader here was a somewhat disturbed young man who'd had a really tumultuous childhood. And I think that
Thought
was just,
that he was playing Grand Theft Auto.
Yep, pretty much.
Got it.
Yeah. So the bodies of these 3 workers were found later that day by the homeowners, lying face down on the barn floor, their hands tied behind their backs with duct tape, all dead from gunshot wounds to the head.
Do you imagine coming home to seeing like your contractors?
Let me check on the progress of the barn loft. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'd have to leave that house. I don't think I could ever live there. After seeing that.
It's
I'd
just
at least
so
get rid of the
unthinkable.
barn. Yeah. Again, just senseless crimes all the fuck around.
Yeah.
On September 18th, 2000, the state charged 21-year-old Philip A. Stroud, 21, with 3 counts of murder, 3 counts of felony murder, 1 count of burglary, a Class A felony, and 3 counts of robbery, all Class B felonies. So he's got a lot of charges. He claimed that he only served as the lookout for the burglary, but his 3 cohorts testified that Stroud was the shooter. Realizing his friends were singing like canaries, he admitted to the shootings. But to ensure a slam dunk at trial, investigators also made sure to collect as much physical evidence as possible to place Stroud and his accomplices at the scene.
Yeah, because otherwise it could be like
It's my word against yours.
yeah,
They're trying to sell
he's
me
the
down
shooter.
the river here.
There's reasonable doubt as to which one is the shooter, so none of them are the
Exactly.
shooter.
They're trying to save their butts.
Yeah.
We're going to pin it on Stroud.
Right.
I mean, this is the right way to go about an investigation.
Right.
You don't take a confession at face value.
No.
You just don't. So a pair of shoes belonging to Stroud was collected from his girlfriend's apartment shortly after the murders took place when he was arrested. And embedded in the tread of one of the shoes was dog shit.
Fuck
Yes.
Investigators collected this shit, as well as shit from the yard of the crime scene that had been left there by the family dog.
I'm telling you, don't try to murder me in my home because our
There's dog shit
backyard
everywhere.
is
Oh, God. Oh, no.
hideous.
Covered in shit.
It's bad.
Yep. Lab results confirmed the shit in the yard to be a match for the shit on the shoe. Now, this was in 2000, so they didn't actually confirm this using DNA because we didn't have that technology. But they did confirm it by examining the two poops and also the like food that this dog was eating, and the bacteria and like the like plants in the yard that like if he's eating a
Forensic
certain type
botany.
of grass. Yeah, they use like forensic botany, all kinds of shit. And they were like, the shit expert was like, that's that dog shit. I'd bet my fucking life on it. That shit belongs to that dog. And then it's on his shoe. And this debunks Stroud's initial claim that he was the lookout because he was like, I didn't even get out of the car. I didn't walk on the property. I was the driver. I was the lookout, and I was going to like honk if anybody rolled up. And it's like, no, dude.
You got out of the car.
You got out of the car. The dog shit is all over your fucking shoe. And then they also found tread marks matching that shoe with a little bit of the poop
In the home.
in the house.
Oh,
So it's like,
my
no,
God.
dude,
You
you
didn't
left
get out of
a
the car to
shit
smoke
trail.
a cigarette. You
No.
were all up in that.
You were everywhere. So it's like, nah. So Stroud was found guilty of 3 counts of murder and 3 counts of felony murder, which the trial court merged together. Like we said, the felonies, all of the things that he was charged for, he was found guilty for. After the penalty phase of the trial, in which the defense presented evidence of mitigating circumstances, the jury recommended that the defendant receive the death penalty.
Yeah, it's Indiana.
It's Indiana. He was, however, resentenced in 2005 to life imprisonment. So he is still in prison. He will not see parole. He will never be out, but he won't be put down, for lack of a better word. I couldn't think executed. Jesus Christ.
Put down.
I am so sorry.
Oh, my God.
The other men involved received sentences ranging from 45 years to 151 years based on like the level of
Their involvement.
Yep.
And maybe past crimes, records. Well, fuck them.
Here's one that's less awful. Sometimes access to poop testing technology can backfire on you.
Backfire all over the bowl.
Back spray. This article from The Verge, written by Russell Brandom, was too good, so I'm simply going to read it. It's really short for this next tale. Quote, an Atlanta warehouse overstepped the bounds of the law in its quest to discover a mystery pooper, according to a ruling by a federal circuit court in Atlanta this week, and this week being the week of June 24th, 2015, when poop DNA tech was still in its infancy.
A great time to be alive.
So exciting. Innovation. The case began when the warehouse, run by Atlas Logistics Group, began finding piles of excrement, Poop Bandit, in the public workspace and was forced to investigate who might be behind the string of mysterious crappings. Based on the scene of the crime, the company suspected an inside job because it's like in their warehouse. But it had no firm evidence aside from the poop itself.
Ew. At least the
know,
poop was firm.
This article's so gross. I love it. That's where Atlas got into trouble. Supervisors forced 2 workers named Dennis Reynolds, literally Dennis Reynolds, like from It's Always Sunny, and Jack Lowe to submit a cheek swabbing, because like Lucy said, it's the same
cheek.
DNA, not butt cheek, face cheek,
The way Lucy lit up.
butt cheek. It's the same DNA.
Let me just swab your cheek quick. pulls up down your
No.
drops trowel.
Drop your trowel. Not that cheap. To compare their DNA to the DNA found in the poop. I wonder why these two were selected. They had to be like
It'd be the grossest.
not even.
warehouse
I think
workers.
that they were probably just little scamps. Like they were
Yeah.
up to no good.
They drank the
Yeah,
most
get
coffee.
Dennis Reynolds and Jack Lowe in here. We know it was you.
Gotta be Jack and Dennis.
It's gotta be. Little ditty about Jack and Dennis. Both men were exonerated by the cheek swabbing test.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
But it raised the thorny question of whether Atlas had the right to demand a test in the first place.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ultimately,
Improper
the court
search and
ruled.
seizure.
That's what I'm saying. Ultimately, the court ruled that the company had overstepped because Dennis and Jack definitely sued.
Yeah.
And they awarded Reynolds and Lowe $2.2 million, including nearly $1.75 million in punitive damages.
Punitive. I love it. Yeah.
Isn't that brilliant?
Fuck those employers.
Fuck
Go
'em.
If it's
Jack
not in
and
your
Dennis.
contract when you start
Yep.
that you can be randomly subjected to swabbing
To cheek swabbing
because of a poop
because of
bandit.
rogue shit,
And
a
then
poop
did
bandit.
they ever solve them? They never
don't think
solved
so.
it either.
I don't think they ever solved it. And they can't swab anyone else because they just got fucking sued. So it's like, make sure your cameras are working, I guess, Atlas. Fuck off.
It should have been including 1.7 million in me.
Me? Punitive damages. So
Rude.
Atlas vowed to appeal the ruling and pare down the final sum, but I don't know if they were ever successful. I didn't see an update on whether they ended up paying less.
That's amazing.
It's brilliant. It's a rare issue, but an increasingly relevant one as DNA testing grows cheaper and employers find more and more ways to monitor and exploit workers. There are extensive rules about law enforcement collection of DNA, but this is the first firm precedent protecting workers against employer-mandated DNA testing.
Yeah.
In this case, it was an issue of linking employees to misconduct, but it's easy to imagine similar tests being used as a basis for genetic discrimination as the science develops further.
Gattaca.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But as long as this ruling holds up, employees will be legally protected if any employers attempt such a scheme. So it's actually like
A big deal.
really a big deal that Jack and Dennis sued and they set
This
this
happened
precedent.
to be over poop, but the DNA swab
Yep, is the important
is
part.
the important part.
Yeah, they like literally changed the law forever, basically.
That's huge.
By setting the precedent.
What a
Yeah.
legacy.
Such a legacy.
A
God
legacy.
bless.
And
A
they were
legacy.
innocent.
Oh.
Oh no, that got me. A legacy. Okay. I've got one more.
Wait,
Then we're
quick
done.
anecdote.
Oh no. Okay. Speaking of poop bandits.
So I promise, I swear to God, I swear to whatever I hold dear,
Nothing good ever
on
starts this
Goldie
way. Got it.
Hawn's future grave.
She's about to
Whoa,
lie,
okay.
people.
No, Zach and I had nothing to do with this, but at the
The
last.
lady doth protest.
No, I swear. But at his last job, I think it was our first year there, maybe our second year there, someone was pissed at the boss.
Uh-oh.
And
Someone poop bandited.
and the boss used to always not anymore, but the boss used to always have like a bunch of teachers and staff over to his big mansion house once a year for like a party, and he
Weird, okay.
you know, was catered and he like supplied the wine and whatever, and we all had to like go hang out with the boss. Pretty standard. Somebody took a big old dump in
Amazing.
the bathtub, the big
Yes!
bathtub in his his
Did
primary
it have
bath.
jets? Did
Yeah.
it have jets? Yes!
A jacuzzi tub.
Betty and the jets.
Yes, somebody
Oh, no.
snuck away from the party. Plausible deniability. It was one of 35 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
Mhm.
That's real good.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it was Zach. Anyway.
No, I swear to God. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to leave you with a case so gross, it makes me even less likely to want to leave my house.
Okay.
This took place in Toronto, Canada in 2019.
Gross.
Of course it did.
I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
classic.
I love Toronto.
I know, me too, but I don't love this. So, a young female student was leaving class at the University of Toronto when a masked, I can only assume, maniac dumped a bucket of liquefied waste over her head.
No.
It was the third poop attack of that nature in the course of that week,
No.
and it appeared to be the same man doing the attacking.
Always
the dumping.
targeting women.
Was it diarrhea from the source, or was it like mixed with a bunch of water?
We'll get to it.
Ugh.
And you will not be satisfied with the answer.
I never am.
A woman named Sheila Shojai was working at the help desk at Robarts Library at U of T when the first attack took place earlier in the week. Just after 5 p.m., one of the library caretakers came rushing into her office, his face a mask of horror and disgust. She said, quote, "He looked like he just came back from war," Sheila said.
Oh my God.
He was like, "Do you guys have Lysol? Someone just threw shit on the second floor." At first, Sheila thought it was a funny prank. Quote, "I think most of us did," she said. "We were like, what? That's so ridiculous." But as the details trickled out,
No.
Ew.
it began to seem a lot more serious. The man had run into the library holding a large bucket. Once inside, he dumped a heap of liquefied feces onto two people sitting together at a table studying.
No.
And I don't know if these two were men, women, neither, both.
Okay.
But it does seem like he wanted to hit the ladies with the poop.
Oh my God.
A few days later, he struck again. A man matching the same description walked into the Scott Library at York University. So he's like going to campuses.
On purpose.
And libraries.
On purpose. Well, these are all places on campuses. That library was on
That
the
anyone
University
can
of
walk
Toronto campus.
into and people are sitting.
Why
they're quiet- they're-
defile a
they're
university
studying.
library? That's like the
Just
best
horrible.
place on earth.
Right.
I know. So he goes into the Scott Library at York University and dumped a bucket of liquefied waste on a man, sitting at a table. Security images later released by police showed the grinning suspect, and there is a photo on the drive.
Yes.
He looks, I don't think I smiled that big on my wedding day. Like, he's the happiest looking man I've
Oh.
ever seen. He's in a gray hoodie and a black beanie hat, walking out of the library holding a bucket covered in what looks like an Adidas track jacket or
Yeah.
an athletic shirt.
He's like clean cut.
Yep.
Well, not the shoes, but
Like
like
gloves on.
he's
Yep.
got gloves.
Well, he doesn't want to get shit all over him.
Yeah, he's got pretty serious gloves on and khakis. What the fuck?
It's wild. His smile in the pictures is huge and
Huge
he is
smile.
clearly pleased with himself.
Yeah.
So these
next-
photos are from him leaving the scene.
Correct.
Ah.
The next night, it happened once more. A man jogging down College Street just before midnight saw someone rush diagonally from the direction of campus toward the northwest corner of College and University Avenue. On the sidewalk, not far from the Leslie L. Dan Pharmacy building, he dumped a bucket full of waste onto a woman waiting to cross the street.
Oh my God.
Just standing at a stoplight waiting to cross the street, dumped a whole bucket of shit on her.
This is violent.
It truly, it's assault.
Yeah.
It is absolutely assault with a weapon
They could get
because you
so
could get
sick.
very sick from that. While the evidence was piling up and an arrest was imminent, one mystery still remained. Was the shit human? So they did determine that water had to have been added to it just because
The
of the
volume.
consistency and the volume.
Yeah.
And the police were saying, quote, "It was feces," said Toronto Police Constable Allison Douglas Cook.
Oh my God.
But we don't know if it is, in fact, human feces.
Right.
So they have no idea. He could just be picking it up all over town,
Right.
Mix
watering
it up, dog
it down.
poop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Could be a major compilation.
Right.
A mixtape, if you will. Finally, his shit reign of terror came to an end on November 26th of 2019. Samuel Opoku, 23 of Toronto, was arrested and charged with 5 counts of assault with a weapon and 5 counts of mischief and interference with property. While he has been to court a couple of times for these charges, I could not find an outcome of this case or like what his
Or a
sentencing
motive?
was. No motive. I have no clue. So if anyone else knows, I looked.
Weird.
There's no follow-up. I did, however, find a change.org petition with 10 strong signatures on it
10.
to free Samuel,
Are they all his relatives?
probably, to release him of all charges, and I will leave you with what is written on the change.org, because you know I love to find these and read them aloud. It reads as follows, quote, on November 26th, Samuel Opoku, a 23-year-old homeless man, which I didn't see anything in my research that indicated that, but
His shoes
maybe he was unhoused. I don't
don't look particularly great.
know. Good.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know. Threw poop onto the students of University of Toronto in hopes of bringing some laughter and happiness into their lives.
Okay. No.
Instead,
that's not
he
your
faces
motivation.
charges for mischief and assault with a weapon, which could result in him spending up to 30 years in jail. These are false charges that are attempting to prove that poop can be used as a weapon, when in actuality, he is being sent to jail for an elaborate prank that was overall harmless to the population.
Absolutely not. That is not
It's
a
been
harmless
used
prank.
throughout human history
Yeah,
as a weapon.
in biological warfare. I don't think so.
No.
Help end this injustice and sign this petition to free Samuel Opoku.
No. Also, I just
Honestly,
want to
I
say that there
personally-
is an assistant professor named Samuel Opoku, and I am assuming it's not the same. It doesn't look like the
Maybe
same
it
person.
is.
But
I
so
don't know.
don't just find one Samuel Opoku on the
In
internet.
Toronto and believe it's him.
Did you just quick Google this man's
Yeah,
Oh, I
name?
see
and then
her
I
in
was-
here
and then
highlighting.
then I was like, oh no, PhD in public health. It's
No,
not
no,
the
no.
same guy.
That's not him. Honestly, I don't know what has happened with Samuel, but I just hope he gets the help that he clearly needs, because this is not a funny prank. This is fucking horrifying. And please don't dump buckets of watered down shit on people. And that is my case. Cases.
Wow.
Multiple cases.
Good
Yeah.
work.
I went for it.
He's known
went for
as
it, babes.
Pee Poo Poo Man in
Yep,
Canada.
Pee Pee Poo Poo Man. Yep. There were some Reddit threads about him.
Yeah. Pee Pee Poo Poo.
Pee Pee Poo Poo Man.
Wow.
Yep. You're
What
welcome.
an episode.
What a
this
night.
was a roller coaster.
An all-timer.
We really did it. Mm-hmm.
All
Well,
right.
good job, everyone.
Yep.
Even Kenyon, who made us all cry.
Yep.
Almost.
Yep.
God.
That was a rough one.
That was.
God bless you.
Okay, well, better luck next week. We'll see you then.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.